reversed actually do not mean the opposite. For instance, the star card in the tarot is such a positive card of hope for the future that even reversed, it doesn't mean the opposite of hope. It means hope still exists for the future. It's just harder to see.
I see.
So that's the hardest part about learning it, is that there's no hard and fast rules with all the cards. You kind of have to get to know them like you would a group of people.
Right. And how long have you been doing this?
Over 16 years now.
Oh, okay. That's quite a long time. How many readings would you estimate you've done?
I've done thousands of readings, literally. I'm doing 24 different cities this year, traveling and doing readings for people.
Wow, that's excellent. So do you still have time to do your regular day job?
Well, I do that too, so it means I'm a very busy guy.
Yeah, well, that's good.
You know, once that shift happened and the accuracy took off, I really felt like I couldn't keep what I was doing, you know, locked in my dining room. I felt like I had to go out and share that with the world, because something had happened.
Well, and it sounds like you're in demand, so that's a good thing. And speaking of which, and I might as well bring this up, you designed the logos for and are appearing and speaking at the Bay Area Tarot Symposium.
Yes.
And another one.
The Los Angeles Tarot Symposium.
Okay.
This year coming up in August are both events.
Okay.
And I offered my services to, because I really believe in this medium, so I offered my services to both, and both of them actually picked me as one of the featured speakers this year. I was actually featured speaker last year too, so this is my second year in a row that I'll be one of the speakers there.
Well, they liked you. They want you back.
Yes. And
I know you were a speaker at the Healing Arts Festival recently in San Francisco as well.
Yes. The big New Living Expo.
New Living Expo.
At the Concourse in San Francisco, the biggest West Coast event of the year.
So there are many places, like you say, 24 engagements you have this year?
24 different cities, yeah.
So, okay. And later in the show, we'll tell people where you can be found on the web, and they can find out all about your schedule, your speaking schedule.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Okay, we'll talk more about that later. Let's go back to the cards. So what would you do in a typical reading?
Well, you know, my belief is you can read anything. You can throw bones on a table and read them. You can read tea leaves. You can read tarot cards, which actually is my preferred medium. You can read livers, as some people do, or eggs.
And we're not talking human livers, we're talking chicken livers.
Right, chicken or calf livers, not human livers. Any system you devise for divination is simply the tool in which you connect to the ethereal, the psychic energy, or the psychic information that's available to us. Now, I think the tarot is actually a good medium because it is so visual, where let's say if you were looking at a chicken liver, it's kind of hard to see things maybe in that chicken liver. But with the cards, you have really archetypal representations of real things that happen to real people in life. And so it makes the meanings much more profound, I think, and visual. I find when I use the cards with people, one of the things I tell them all the time is I use the cards. My guides give me messages and flash pictures, which I acknowledge. I also get sensations and sometimes hear audio things. But when I do the readings, I often will point to the cards and I tell them, I want you to actually see for yourself physically what's come up for you. And they find that a very fascinating and exciting part of the psychic experience.
Because it's a more tangible connection to the person being read. They can look and say, oh yeah, that means that. Whatever you said. Well, should we show our audience what you do with tarot cards? Like, could you give me a brief reading?
Sure, absolutely. Catherine, I want you to think of a question you'd like to ask.
Okay.
It has to be something that matters to you. In other words, you can't say, like, a bad question would be, what's my favorite ice cream?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go there.
And I want you to take the cards and cut them or mix them any way you want, hand them back. I'll lay out the cards and ask your question.
I have to ask out loud?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have to make it not too personal. So I move them around and cut them any way I want.
Any way you want.
Shuffle and...
This is your chance to put your energy and intent into the cards themselves.
Now, this is not a whole deck, right?
This is the major arcana.
The major arcana.
So there's 23 cards within there. The major arcana is your major life influences, the major energies that are going to affect you for this lifetime. The court cards are people, there's 16 people, and the minor arcana are 40 cards that represent earth-based and earth-plane ideas and things we go through in life.
Okay.
Love, passion, emotion, money.
Ooh, that kind of covers it. Yeah. Love, passion, emotion, money. Can I be kind of specific, or do I need to be general in my question?
The more specific you are, the better it always turns out in my experience.
Okay. There you go.
Wonderful. Go ahead and state your question.
Well, it's about my professional life. Am I going to continue in the broadcasting field?
That's a great question. This is known as a 4-card reading. Classically, the first card represents self. This is recent past, what's crowning you, near future. Your first card is the Hanged Man, uniqueness. And so the first thing I would tell you about yourself, which your audience will already know about you, is that you're a very unique individual. You see things in a very different way. You will tend to get a little hung up on details, but the more you release an attachment to details and go after the big picture, the better it's going to be for you. I'm also going to tell you that for you, I'm going to tell you that within your dream states especially, not only do you have the moon, which is about dreams, but you have the Hanged Man, which is about dream messengers when face up, telling you that in your dreams you're going to be given a lot of information. So the more you pay attention to your dreams, the more you have your dreams logged, the more profound the information is going to accumulate that's going to be helpful for you. Because you have 2 guides that work with you often to give you that information, and they're actually coming to you from the other side.
That's interesting because I recently started keeping a log of my dreams.
Wonderful. See, that's perfect.
A couple months ago I started.
Well, you did a great job mixing the cards to give yourself this message.
Okay.
You've done a lot of introspection in your life and a lot of soul searching already. This is in your past position, the Hermit card. I want to tell you with this that you have gained an immense amount of inner knowledge and self-awareness beyond that of the average person. And that's because you've really looked within in a deep way. Coming up with you is the Death card.
That looks scary.
Reversed. You know, with the readers, we always joke because for people who don't really know the tarot, they see the Death card and they go, oh my God, it's the Death card.
I'm not afraid of death, but the card, it's a skeleton on it.
There's a skeleton. The Death card means absolute change. Absolute change. Now, the scariest card in the tarot is actually the Tower, which is a building on fire, which most people don't relate to as being that scary. This card, though, is a real friendly card for readers because we know it unequivocally, absolutely, without question says to you, change is coming very soon for you, and it's best you get on board with it. No resistance. Remember I said little details hanging you up? I want you to release those details so that you can embrace this new phase you're about to enter into, especially with your career. Coming up is the Moon reversed. Again, reinforcing the information from the Hermit because the cards do relate to each other. This one's going to tell you that your time of planning is over. Your time of doing is now. It's no longer time to be next to the spotlight. Now it's time for you to be in the spotlight. And so in relation to career, this is your time to really go for it. And without humbleness or without shyness, you want to say, hey, I have something to offer, and really go after it. And you're going to find that as you do that, you're going to be more and more successful because this next cycle for you is meant to be successful.
What do you mean by next cycle?
Well, you're about to break into a new cycle. The Death card reversed is a new cycle about to start, but not quite yet. There's still a little resistance energy on the face of it.
I know what that refers to.
Yeah. It's time to jump off the diving board.
I'm ready.
I think you are, especially because the Hanged Man represents you.
And the Hanged Man, that in itself is a little bit frightening too. Although it's hanging by its foot. Is that one's not upside down though?
This is face down.
Figure's upside down.
The figure's upside down on